Have you dated someone who loved you fiercely for 2 weeks, then turned cold, distant, and critical overnight? Someone who charmed your whole world, yet slowly made you question your sanity, your memories, and your self-worth? This isn't regular heartbreak. This is Dark Triad dating psychology. Narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy are 3 hidden personality patterns that turn ordinary relationships into slow, invisible trauma cycles. Today, we break down exactly how each dark trait behaves on dates, in relationships, and after breakups, with pure scientific physiology and zero judgment. First off, let's talk about what the Dark Triad actually is. Coined by psychologists in 2002, the Dark Triad refers to 3 separate but overlapping dark personality traits. Everyone has a small amount of these traits, which is completely normal. But when someone scores high in all 3, they become extremely toxic in romantic relationships. Let's break them down simply. First, narcissism. This trait revolves around a constant need for admiration, an inflated sense of self-importance, a very fragile ego, and almost no emotional empathy for others. Second, Machiavellianism. This is the calculating, strategic side of dark personalities. People with this trait view relationships as transactions. They plan every move, prioritize personal gain, and feel no guilt about lying or manipulating to get what they want. Third, psychopathy. This is the most dangerous of the 3. Psychopathy means emotional numbness, zero remorse, impulsive thrill-seeking behavior, and the ability to mimic perfect charm without feeling any real love or connection. All 3 traits share low empathy and self-serving behavior. But here's the key. Each one hurts love and relationships in totally different ways. Let's start with the most common toxic dating trait, narcissism. Narcissists don't date for connection, they date for supply. That means they need your attention, your praise, your devotion, and your emotional labor to feel worthy of themselves. There are 2 major subtypes you need to watch out for. First is grandiose narcissism. These are the people who love bomb you aggressively at the start. They flood you with affection, compliments, grand gestures, and endless validation. They make you feel like you've met your perfect soulmate overnight. But once they secure your loyalty, they quickly shift. They become critical, arrogant, and easily offended. If you stop idealizing them, they discard you cold turkey. The second type is covert, or a vulnerable narcissism. This version is quieter and trickier to spot. They play the permanent victim. They trauma dump extremely early, rush emotional intimacy, and guilt trip you into taking care of their emotions. They won't explode in anger. Instead, they punish you with silence, passive aggression, and quiet manipulation until you feel responsible for their sadness. No matter which subtype you encounter, narcissistic relationships always follow the same toxic cycle: idealization, devaluation, discard, and then hoovering to pull you back whenever you move on. Now let's move on to Machiavellianism, the cold, strategic dark trait. If narcissists crave admiration, Machiavellians crave utility. Simply put, they don't date for love, they date for benefit. Every single move they make is calculated. They mirror your personality perfectly to gain your trust fast. They study your strengths, your weaknesses, and what you can offer them. They weigh the pros and cons of dating you silently in their head. They use manipulation tactics like triangulation to keep you jealous and insecure. They withhold affection to train your behavior. They lie smoothly without guilt, because for them, relationships are nothing more than tools for status, comfort, or personal advantage. The worst part, they don't break up in anger or drama. They wait until you're no longer useful, then walk away completely calm, completely unbothered, and never look back. Next up, the most dangerous dark triad trait of all, psychopathy. Psychopathy is defined by one core difference: no emotional empathy. Psychopaths can watch you cry, watch you hurt, watch you break down and feel absolutely nothing. They are master charmers. In the beginning, they're intense, romantic, spontaneous, and incredibly captivating. They give you the most passionate love you've ever felt. But that passion is never real. It's only the thrill of the chase. Once they win you over, the excitement fades instantly. They get bored fast. They feel zero guilt from cheating, lying, or abandoning you. To them, your heartbreak is just unnecessary drama. They mimic love perfectly, but they cannot form real emotional bonds. If you've ever been with someone who was intensely loving one week and completely unhuman the next, this is why. Now that we've covered each trait individually, let's talk about the manipulation tactics all dark triad personalities use on you. No matter if they're narcissistic, Machiavellian, or psychopathic, they all rely on the exact same playbook to break your boundaries. First, gaslighting. They twist memories, deny conversations, and make you question your own sanity until you trust their version of reality more than yours. Second, triangulation. They bring up exes, friends, or other people to create competition, jealousy, and fear of abandonment. Third, the silent treatment. They cut off all warmth and communication to punish you for disagreeing with them. Fourth, projection. They take their own toxic flaws, their cheating, their lying, their cruelty, and blame all of it on you. Fifth, moving goalposts. No matter how much you change, compromise, or improve, their standards always shift so you can never win. And finally, hoovering. After they discard you, they pop back into your life with sweetness and charm the second they need fresh emotional supply. These 6 tactics are how they trap you in long-term toxic cycles. Next, let's break down the science behind why Dark Triad people act this way. This behavior isn't just a choice, it's brain deep. Studies show Dark Triad individuals have reduced gray matter in the empathy and moral reasoning parts of their brain. That means it's neurologically easier for them to lie, hurt you, and abandon you without guilt. Narcissists have an overactive threat response in their brain. Any small criticism feels like a personal attack, which triggers their rage and defensiveness instantly. Psychopaths have dulled emotional processing. Their brains do not register pain or sadness in other people. Your suffering literally does not register emotionally for them. All high Dark Triad personalities have abnormal dopamine function. They constantly crave new thrills, new drama, and new partners because regular, healthy love feels boring and unfulfilling to their brain. Simply put, they cannot love normally because their brains are not wired to. Now here's the most important part: why you fall for them in the first place. And let me be clear, it is not your fault. Humans are evolutionarily wired to be attracted to confidence, charisma, boldness, and strong social presence. Dark Triad people carry all of these traits intensely. When they love bomb you fast and hard, they flood your brain with oxytocin and dopamine, your brain chemically addicted to their attention within weeks. Their inconsistency also traps you. Their hot and cold behavior makes you crave their warmth, obsess over their distance, and try harder to fix them or win them back. This especially affects people with anxious attachment. Anxious hearts naturally try to heal broken, distant, or cold partners. That kindness, unfortunately, makes you the perfect target for Dark Triad manipulation cycles. You didn't fall for their lies because you're naive. You fell for them because your human brain was designed to trust warmth, consistency, and charm. Moving along, let's talk about the hidden damage these relationships leave behind. Dating a high Dark Triad person doesn't just hurt temporarily, it rewires your mental health long term. First, it destroys self-trust. After constant gaslighting, you stop believing your own memory, intuition, and judgment. Second, it creates chronic stress. Your cortisol levels stay permanently high, leading to anxiety, overthinking, insomnia, and emotional exhaustion. Third, it creates trauma bonding. Your brain starts associating love with pain, inconsistency, and stress. After a Dark Triad relationship, healthy, calm, stable love often feels boring, fake, or unexciting to you. Fourth, you shrink your personality. You learn to stay quiet, suppress your needs, and avoid conflict just to keep the peace. Even after the relationship ends, the self-doubt, fear, and hypervigilance can last for years. Now let's cover the early red flags you can catch within the first month of dating. These signs show up fast if you know what to look for. First, ultra-fast soulmate claims. If they're calling you their perfect match days after meeting you, that's intentional love bombing. Second, they badmouth every single ex. They never take blame, always paint themselves as the eternal victim. Third, phone secrecy. They hide their screen, hide messages, and never let you see their social life. Fourth, they slowly isolate you from friends and family. Fifth, they make cruel jokes at your expense, then call you sensitive for feeling hurt. Sixth, extreme hot and cold energy. One day they're obsessed, the next day they're distant and uninterested. Seventh, they pressure rapid commitment before real trust has grown. If you see multiple of these signs early on, you are dealing with Dark Triad patterns. If you find yourself already stuck in a toxic Dark Triad bond, let's talk about how to safely escape and fully heal from a relationship like this. True healing only works one way: strict zero contact. Dark Triad people feed on any emotional reaction from you: anger, sadness, arguments, even blocking drama. Cutting all contact starves them of supply and breaks the cycle. Next, stop overanalyzing their behavior. Their coldness, cruelty, and manipulation are flaws in their brain, not failures in your worth. Then rebuild your self-worth independently. These relationships strip your confidence over time. You have to relearn how to validate yourself without their approval. You also need to unlearn trauma bonding. The intense longing you feel is chemical addiction, not real love. And finally, never engage with smear campaigns. Any response you give them only gives them power. Your peace is more important than proving yourself to people who already lack empathy. If you're still unsure if you're dating one or how to spot, just look out for these obvious traits. Narcissists are all about seeking admiration and emotional validation in their relationships. Machiavellians, on the other hand, are in it for strategic benefits and personal gain. Psychopaths, they're after excitement, entertainment, and the thrill of the chase. Each of these Dark Triad personalities has their own way of manipulating others, but they all have one thing in common. They can damage your self-worth, create confusion, and pull you into unhealthy cycles. Learning about the Dark Triad isn't just about calling someone bad, it's really about safeguarding yourself. Once you recognize these behaviors, you can avoid getting swept away by someone's charming but manipulative love. If you're interested in diving deeper into topics like attachment styles, toxic dating habits, and those sneaky red flags that often go unnoticed, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for the next video.